Hello, 'tis I, Joy. Today I'm going to be taking you through every movie that I've watched recently, and I'm going to be summarizing them in one sentence. And by every movie, I mean a selected 30, and by one sentence, I mean one sentence or more. And by recently, I mean within the past year. I'm going to be glancing at my phone because I have the notes on my phone, but let's get started. And these are in no particular order. They're not in like chronological order or anything like that. They're just kind of in the order that I thought would be best. First up, we have Mission Impossible 3. The airplane interrogation scene was the most unhinged I've seen Ethan Hunt. Second movie, Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol. Some of the stunts in this movie are like an intricate game of chess where one move can have very severe consequences. A lot of Mission Impossibles. I did go on like a 2-week spree where I was like, I'm gonna rewatch the whole Mission Impossible series, so that's why these are all first. Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning Part 1. The antagonists of the film, specifically this character and this character, were just eerily evil and unsettling. The car chase scene with the yellow Fiat was really funny to watch. It definitely felt like a 3-hour movie, but it was just good. Like the action just kept you wanting more. On to the fourth movie, Elemental. This is one of my favorite personified animation movies. I've watched it 4 times since it's been out. Wade's a really great character because he's just so himself. Forever My Girl, a good old southern rom-com about life choices, love, and forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness. Cloud 9. This movie only feels appropriate to watch in January. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I really enjoyed this movie in theaters. It was in the middle of 2D and 3D. I would describe the visual imagery of the movie as just a rainfall of watercolors. I also enjoyed seeing this version of Miles Morales and his relationship with his parents and family. The crossover between all the different Spider-Men was a funny scene. Cheaper by the Dozen. This is my comfort movie. Cheaper by the Dozen 2. This is also my comfort movie. Soleil. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at my one sentence. Okay, this movie was all fun and games until the end took a completely unexpected turn, a completely dark, unnecessary turn. The Silencing, a cloudy, small-town thriller that ends badly in the woods. The lighting's gonna change because the sun is setting very fast. Number 12, we have Burning. Burning is a slow burn thriller. No pun intended. A 2.5-hour build-up that you won't realize is a build-up until after you've watched and contemplated the whole movie. It seems as if nothing is happening on the surface, but everything is unraveling at the same time. When watching a film, there's an ambiguous game of cat and mouse between Ben and Jung-soo. Lee Chang-dong's framing of characters between Hae-mi, Jung-soo, and Ben is very strategic every time they're on or off screen. From the moment Jung-soo is introduced to Ben, he immediately falls into a position of being in the middle. Whenever he tries to make his way out from that position, he ends up putting himself in direct competition with Ben. Although Burning is filmed in a way for the viewer to side with Jung-soo, the film ultimately amounts to an intangible resolution. No concrete questions were asked, and therefore no concrete answers were given. It was evident that Jung-soo's payoff at the end still had a great amount of debt to it. Coco. Every time I watch Abuelita break that poor boy's guitar, I just think she's doing too much. Jump In. It's a classic movie of it's not my dream, Dad, it's yours. We Bought a Zoo. This movie shows that there's multiple points in life where you have the opportunity to do something different and uncomfortable. The Cheetah Girls. I rarely watched the first Cheetah Girls and usually skip to the second movie because that's the best one. But the first one is really fun too. Yeah, the first one's a fun movie. It's a good movie. The outfits, the soundtrack, and just the simple concept of following your dreams. Interstellar. I watched this movie recently for the first time, and by recently I actually do mean recently. I really enjoyed how everything tied together at the ending. And the casting for the daughter during all stages of her life was really spot on. The concept of space and time is interesting, and how time passes differently on other planets. In college, I took a cosmology class because I had to fulfill the science requirement, but I remember taking it, and that topic was really interesting to me, space and time. The Farewell, an emotional comedic drama about the lies you tell and the truth you withhold in hopes of making the end of one's life as enjoyable as can be. The film tells the story of Billy and how she copes with the news that her grandmother has an illness and a short time left to live. Billy's family decides not to tell Nai, which is their grandmother, about the seriousness of her illness. Although Billy doesn't agree, her family plans a fake wedding to act as one last excuse for a believable family gathering before Nai's illness progresses. 19. Anyone But You, a rom-com. Predictable plot, predictable storyline, predictable love story, and I loved every minute of it. Aki and Papa is a Nigerian comedy. One of the noteworthy insults from this movie is when Aki and Papa, the brothers, they're told that they are as useful as onions, and if they were to enter a truck full of onions, people won't be able to tell the difference between them and the onions. Dinner at My Place. This is a Nigerian rom-com. I'm just listing the noteworthy exchanges from these Nigerian movies. An ex-girlfriend shows up unannounced to her ex-boyfriend's doorstep the night that he's about to propose to his current girlfriend. She says she needs a place to stay. He says no because his current girlfriend, soon-to-be fiance, is inside the apartment. She then proceeds to ask for money for a cab ride and hotel. He hands her the money. I don't know, he feels bad, so he gives her the money. And she looks him up and down in disgust with a look that says, looks like you're still broke. I wasn't expecting much from this movie. I was just gonna put it on and do other things, but I don't know, I kind of liked it. Ocean's 8. It's just a fun time because I like movies like this where it's just a group of people and they kind of see how far they can get with, I guess, committing a crime. Saving Mr. Banks. A good, quiet, calm watch. Melena, I had watched in college when I was taking a film class, and the assignment was to make a video collage. So a video collage is just kind of how you would have a collage of pictures. It's just a collage of different videos and films. My video collage was on the topic of women's beauty. I had found this film because of that whole assignment. I never watched it entirely. I just kind of used clips of it. I found the movie and just watched the whole thing through, and it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but the messages were really strong. So essentially it's just that Melena, she's this beautiful woman. I believe it takes place in Spain. She lives kind of in this small town where all of the men are always kind of freaking out over her because of her beauty, and they love her for it. And then all of the women are just haters. Every time she walks by, they'll always kind of like sneak a remark behind her back, and they just never really liked her. And so at one point in the film, when Melena is kind of stripped of all her status, the townswomen end up kind of crucifying her in a sense. They don't actually kill her, but they put violence on her. Yeah, and none of the townsmen said anything. They just kind of stood and watched and let the women have at her. But yeah, that film was interesting. People can love you for your looks, but they can also hate you for your looks. Up next is The Little Mermaid. Wild Uncharted Waters is it's my favorite song from the soundtrack, but it might be one of the best. Like top 3. Good Boys. This movie is the epitome of what it's like when you're in elementary school to like middle school and you just start to become conscious and learn about all the adult stuff, and you just put it into use in the wrong ways. It's funny though. Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Movies like this and Camp Rock take the storyline of moving to a new place and reinventing yourself to an unnecessary level. There's never a need to lie about your life that much. Love in Taipei, another rom-com. I didn't have my eyes on the screen for this whole movie, but my summary that I got from what I listened to and saw is that it's a rom-com where the girl has 2 love interests. The question throughout the whole entire movie is, does she go for the perfect, parents-approved good guy, or does she go for the riskier, more mysterious bad boy? The Parent Trap. The Parent Trap is also another comfort movie, but this movie is 3 movies in one, and I'll tell you why. Whenever The Parent Trap would be on cable, even growing up, I would only catch the movie during one of 3 different parts. So we would either only catch it in the first part, which is when the twins, I know it's just Lindsay Lohan, but when the twins are at camp, that's one part of the movie. The second part of the movie is when they swap lives. And then the third part of the movie is when they go on the camping trip with Meredith. It's just 3 movies packed in one. That's how I would summarize The Parent Trap. 3 in 1. Okay, and last but not least, we have Past Lives. A cinematic, quiet, slow, yet fast-paced film. Past Lives follows the love story of 2 friends, Nora and Hae-sung, from childhood to adulthood. They were childhood best friends that got separated when Nora moved away, and then they reunite for 1 week as adults. It's noteworthy to mention that Nora is, I believe she's married. I describe the movie as slow yet fast-paced because the way it's filmed takes its time with how long each shot is on the screen. The use of long still shots allowed the actors to convey an advanced level of emotional weight and contemplation without saying or doing much. The fastness of the film is shown throughout the storyline of how quickly time can pass without permission. In the 1 week timeline of their reunion, Nora and Hae-sung undergo this unspoken understanding that at the end of the week, a decision has to be made of whether or not their newfound rekindled friendship will grow or lay from here. Okay, we have reached the end. Those are the 30 movies that I watched recently, summarized in, let's just call it a paragraph. What are some of your guys' favorite movies? Or if there's any good recommendations, I would consider them, as long as it's not anything horror or scary. Thank you for watching, and if you watched to the end, thanks as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! And that's a wrap. Bye.